If when they got out of school, they got a punch card with 20 punches on it, and that's all the investment decisions they got to make in their entire life, they would get very rich because they would think very hard about each one.
So if you're interested in financial matters, you've got to have something to work with. I mean, I was fortunate in that respect because my dad paid for my education. If he hadn't, I probably wouldn't have become educated if I had to pay for it myself. So I was able to save $10,000 by the time I was 21. And that was a huge head start. If I hadn't been able to do that, and first child came along when I was 22, so I mean, the family, it's much easier to save it in those teenage years if you're lucky enough to be in a family where where your parents are taking care of your financial obligations. Every dollar then is worth making $10 or $20 later on. And so if you are interested in financial matters, getting a stake early is very useful, and getting knowledge early is very useful. So, I would say you're well on the way if at 11 you're even interested in coming to a meeting like this. And if that interest is maintained, I would read financial publications. I would read whatever was of interest to me. I'd be curious about how the businesses around the town of Kearney operated. To the extent that you can get people to talk to you, and people usually like to talk, learn about who's got good businesses in Kearney and why they're good businesses, and learn about the businesses that went out of business and why they went out of business, and just keep accumulating knowledge. That's one of the beauties of the business that Charlie and I are in, is that everything is cumulative. The stuff I learned when I was 20 is useful today. Not necessarily the same way and not necessarily every day, but it's useful. So you're building a database in your mind that is going to pay off over time.
If success is something that you truly want and you really want to go out there and accomplish, you have to put your mind to it and understand what you're working for is your dreams. You shouldn't be out there trying to go after other people's dreams for them. You should be striving and working and grinding for your dreams and your dreams alone. The moment you start trying to make other people's dreams happen is when your dreams get put on the back burner, and that's not at all what you want to do. You have to make sure that you understand what you're doing is important, and you should try to do the best that you can every single day. It should be about improving every single day and waking up and being better than you were the day before, and figuring out new things, new skills to learn, new activities to do, to grow, to learn, and to mature in ways that you never thought possible. Because when it comes down to it, that's what it's all about. Not what you've done, but what you are doing and what you will become, because the future is what is important. Another great thing to know is that you are no better than other people, and people aren't better than you no matter what stage of life they're in or how much success they got. Everybody starts out on a different level, and it's all about how you work to the top. It doesn't matter where you are or what you've done, but as long as you're trying your best, putting in the best effort and doing what you know is best for your life, and you're trying to become better than you were every single day by getting rid of the bad things and adding good things to your life and figuring out what it is what you want to do and pursuing your goals relentlessly, then it will show and you'll grow to become the best version of you could ever think of. And that's what it's all about, is being the best you can possibly be.
The important thing is to be able to define which ones you can come to an intelligent decision on and which ones are beyond your capacity to evaluate. You don't have to be right about thousands and thousands and thousands of companies. You only have to be right about a couple. I met Bill Gates on July 5th, 1991. We were out in Seattle, and Bill said, "You've got to have a computer." And I said, "Why?" And he said, you can do your income tax on it. I said, "I don't have any income. Berkshire doesn't pay a dividend." He said, "Well, you can keep track of your portfolio." And I said, "I only have one stock." I said, and he says, "It's going to change everything." And I said, "Well, will it change whether people chew gum?" And he said, "Well, probably not." I don't have to understand all kinds of business. There's all kinds of business I don't understand. But there's thousands of opportunities there. I did understand the Bank of America. I'm able to do that. I'm able to understand some given percentage. But Ted Williams wrote a book called The Science of Hitting. And in The Science of Hitting, he's got a diagram, shows him at the plate. And he's got the strike zone divided into 77 squares, each the size of a baseball. And he says, if I only swing at pitches in my sweet zone, which he shows there, and he has what his batting average would be, which is 400. If he had to swing at low outside pitches, but still in the strike zone, his average would be 230. He said the most important thing in hitting is waiting for the right pitch. Now, he was at a disadvantage because if the count was 0-2 or 1-2 or so on, even if that ball was down where he was only going to bat 230, he had to swing at it. In investing, there's no called strikes. People can throw Microsoft at me and, you name it, any stock, General Motors. I don't have to swing. And nobody's going to call me out on called strikes. I only get a strike called if I swing at a pitch and miss. So I can wait there and look at thousands of companies day after day, and only when I see something I understand and when I like the price at which it's selling, then if I swing, if I hit it, fine. If I miss it, it's a strike.
So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.